Oh boy. Oh boy. Lizzie is such a calming influence, and then Zach's come in. Hey everyone. I'm assuming we've gone live, Zach. I'm assuming that you've hit the button.
I've hit the button.
Yeah, all right, excellent.
Yeah,
Hey everyone. Welcome to Chat TGR. I'm Dan.
I'm Jake.
I'm Joe.
And Lizzie is not here with us today,
We miss you.
but we do have
Me.
we do have
Right,
Zach.
yeah.
Zach is in the house.
Hello.
I was
Better
going
for
to put
us.
up a picture of
Yeah.
hey everyone,
Mick and Dan, but I
welcome
completely
to forgot. But they are now behemoths compared to the mini humans that they
Dear
were.
Daniel, it's just currently showing the screen.
There we go.
Okay. So Zach, you can hit camera one.
Yep, done
so
that.
Zach has hit
I'm
camera
getting,
one now.
I'm warmed up.
Oh,
There we go. He's
there we go.
getting warmed up. Brilliant. Yeah. So I hope you're all amazing.
There we are.
Yay.
Hello,
Hope
you
you've all
guys.
had a great week. So these two
I've had a terrible week.
have
haven't
had a
terrible
terrible week. You've been ill. Let's not
Yeah.
get into the details, but you've not been well.
It's been messy.
And
Can't even be ill separately anymore,
No.
can we? Even have to
No.
do that together.
No,
So if you've been waiting on an email response from us, we're really sorry.
we were really ill.
Yeah, but we're over it, we hope. Or Dan's going to get it tomorrow, one or the other.
please no.
Okay, fine.
Please no. Yeah, okay. It's been, again, man alive. The pedal world is just moving so fast now. It's
Pedaling along, I guess you could
it
say.
is
Oh,
that's the level. That's how ill you've been.
it looked more like bongos than cycling. But
Sorry.
that's cool.
My dad would be so disappointed
Yeah, I
in
know.
me.
Was it walking? Did you walk that?
There was the Tokyo Pedal Summit happening last weekend, or the weekend just gone. And it's so interesting. It was hard to get loads of information, but I know a few people that went and said it was great. I know that Analog Man was there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is, so Mike, the OG,
Isn't he the godfather of
he's
this whole industry?
pretty much,
like
pretty
boutique
much.
pedals.
Yeah, we owe so much to that man, and he rarely does guitar shows or
Yeah.
pedal shows or
Yeah,
anything like
yeah.
that. But he has spent a lot of time in Japan. I think Analog Man. So we interviewed Mike many years ago. Obviously, Mick and I are both massive fans of his work, as we all are. And his business basically started in Japan, where he was finding these, gems and sending them back for resale in the States. And then,
Well, you think about where the pedal industry was, where pedals were just in like bargain bins, right? And
Yeah.
You could just walk into a music shop and they'd be like, "Well, we don't want to throw them away, but you
We
can
don't
have as
want
many."
them."
Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
really want them. Whereas in Japan, there's always been a massive collector's market of all kinds of things, right?
yes,
So
and it has to be said. Yoshi from Free the Tone, well, Yoshi or Yuki, I'm so sorry if I've got that wrong. Yuki from Free the Tone was out here a couple of weeks ago, and Mick and I spent an afternoon with him. Beautiful human, such a talented guy. But he also reminded me, because I've spent a bit of time in Japan, I could live in Japan quite easily. I love the place. But he also reminded me that in Japan, if you have a hobby or something that you're into, you are into it.
yeah. It's
Sure.
all or nothing. You
So
don't mess around.
You would walk down the street and then you'd see a group of rockabillys sat down with dancing around a little stereo,
Right.
doing with the hair and the quiffs and
Upright
stuff.
bass
And
and
it was, you'd see examples of this for, these little groups of people who are into something, and they come together and
it's them.
it is incredible, right? And if you're into pedals, you are into pedals, right? Now, there's an example that I like to give about the difference as well. If you're, they don't really have a second-hand market, or it's much smaller.
Right.
But there's a chain of shops in Japan called Hard Off,
Great.
where they sell secondhand.
I'm not going to snigger at that.
No, don't.
I'm not even going to snigger at that.
That's-
'Cause I'm an adult.
You're an adult.
Yeah.
I need to remind you on occasion. Zach is not an adult.
Zach's
Well,
Dan's
no,
17-year-old son sniggering in the background.
I have permission to snigger. All right, that's fine.
That's such a good name. That's such a good name.
Yeah.
So, if you're selling, it's like cash converters here.
Sure, yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
But in Japan, they take care of their stuff. Right?
Sure.
Honestly, you are hard pressed to tell the difference between a second-hand thing there and a brand new unit. The box is pristine. Found an original gonculator
Really?
in the box, and it was like it's someone had owned it before, but you'd be hard pressed to see it wasn't.
So they're like
brand
the
new.
opposite of me.
They are, yeah.
You're the...
I mean,
Did you buy the gonculator?
No, I didn't.
wow.
I didn't buy it because
Wow.
I've got no interest in
Playing
scary evil
Science
music.
by Incubus. Yeah,
There you
got
go.
it.
But I did buy a bunch of stuff when I was in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, you bought the DSD
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
digital...
sampler.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's the DSD one, I think, which is basically a DD2.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's
the
exactly
older
the same
chip.
thing, but with the older long chip in it,
Yeah.
and
Ah,
it is
long chip.
It's wild.
It's so cool.
It's
such a cool
it's
thing.
an awesome sounding thing. But I also got the OD2. It's the one that has the two overdrive circuits
Yeah.
in
Yes.
it that you flip between,
Yeah.
and that is the pedal that inspired Josh Scott to do the collaboration between JHS and Boss.
Is it
Oh,
actually?
really? I
is.
didn't know that.
It is.
That's
So
wild.
if you've got the, is it there or is it? I don't think it is there, but you've got the dual concentric pots on the top that you can blend between the two circuits.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
Of course, on the Bad Driver? Angry Driver.
Angry Driver. Yeah.
That's it.
Bad at driving.
Man. yeah,
So
wicked.
just to say that I love Japan, and next year, if I can find an excuse to get out to the Tokyo Pedal Summit, then
Take me with you.
yeah,
Your
easy.
lovely 30th birthday present, Dan.
Yeah,
Are
he's
you
going to be
30
30
next
I'm
year?
30 in January, man.
Yeah.
And how long have you been working?
I was 18 when I started working for you.
Wow,
He was
So
8 months old.
Yeah. So I'll be 12 years in.
amazing. So who we got on?
We have... I'm going to scroll to the top. A lot of people that said we had no video. We have Scott Curry,
Hey, Scott.
Hey Scott.
Kevin the Just, Todd
Nice.
Roy,
Hey Todd.
Tom Poynton from Bristol, Right Mike Babber, Gordon Ranking, William Young, as in Will Young from the X Factor,
As
I
in
hope.
the actual Will Young. Crazy.
Magic
You better
Man.
leave right now. I was out one night and ran into Will Young.
Really?
He's a lovely guy.
Really?
Yeah, really lovely guy. We're at the Arts Centre we're in London near Notting Hill.
Did
So-
he fanboy you or did you fanboy him?
No. This is well pre those days.
Pre X Factor.
Yeah, but no, he was lovely.
That's
Yeah.
bad.
Who
I'm
else?
just
Anyone?
scrolling.
Just 4 people.
Oh, Neil from NRG Effects.
Hey
Oh,
Neil, how
hey,
are you,
Gary.
mate? Hope you're great. Yes, cool.
Wow,
Okay.
That was synchronous.
So
Someone's comment saying some get longer in jail then for being employed by Dan. That's true.
So you've been here 12 years.
So that must make you
I must
13 or
be- I must be
14.
13 or 14.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, that's the same age as Zach.
I'm currently on like a stepping stool to reach the microphone. It's quite embarrassing.
Oh no, Zach comes of legal age in January.
Yeah.
So there you go. Anyway, man alive. So let's
So
get into
pedals.
it. Let's get into it. So pedals. That was 10 minutes. of
Lizzie's
just-
going to be watching this on holiday being like, stay on task, boys, stay on task.
Yeah.
No. Lizzie, you shouldn't be watching this. Please enjoy your holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, bless you, Lizzie. Hope you're fantastic. Okay, so let's start with an offering that has come out from Poly Effects. So Loki at Poly, another epic Aussie,
With a great name.
great name, the God of Mischief. I think it's perfect for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Joe, can you take us through this? Because as far as modeling is concerned, I think this is one of the most exciting things I've seen.
It's really interesting because it's a fully analog signal path. And we were talking about this the other day, me and Jake, that the thing that's really interesting about it is, like the really old school orange amps with just the hieroglyphs on them.
The old school orange amps
With the hieroglyphs,
yes,
the
like picture.
Most of Poly stuff is all done with hieroglyphs, but
Yeah.
the hieroglyphs on it are actually just really cool and really easy to see.
Right.
But you've got, I can't even remember how many amps you've got. It's like 26.
Yeah.
Might be 26 different amps, and then you can click a bass button and get another set of legendary bass amps as well as guitar amps.
Oh, wow.
It being all analog, full MIDI control, and then the controls in it are fairly simple on the face of it, as in gain, treble, and bass volume. But it's just a really interesting take on the amp modeler.
Do we know
thing.
of another analog amp modeler apart from the simplifier? I don't.
There's definitely going to be one, and I'm sure we'll hear it in the comments. But I
So
don't
if
think
you've got, there are things like, I remember I had an old Marshall JMP1, the MIDI thing,
yeah,
and that had a speaker emulator at the back,
Yeah.
which was
Right.
analog. Excuse me. And that used to sound great, really simple.
yeah.
But you plug it in, and I used to do sessions with that. It was fine.
The Sans amp,
Yes, right. The Sans amps, well, all of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
but they had the one that Kurt Cobain used. That was like the amp.
Is it just the GTR? I think it might just be
Yeah,
called
yeah,
Trans Am Guitar.
loads of switches on it. And stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's the other one that I can think of.
Okay.
But
So yeah,
not a great deal.
Is the Iconoclast?
no.
No.
That's digital, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not really a done thing, but I think it's an interesting stance to take on such a behemoth idea as
And make it analog. Yeah.
emulating amps and not.
And that much variety.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
because there's so many different amps in it, and bass amps as well. It's not like they forgot about this
Yeah.
stuff, and MIDI control, and it looks beautiful because all the Poly stuff is
Oh,
really nice.
man.
Just a really simple, like essentially touch screen with two
Yeah.
foot switches on it. It's,
Yeah, it's so clever. One show that I do want to do at some point is a show on UI.
Yeah.
Oh, honestly, I feel like we could talk for years about UI. It's
So
so
maybe
important.
maybe we have a look at that next week, depending on
Pick
how
our
much.
favorite UI and worst UI.
Well, not just our favorite UI. I don't
We
think.
do a shame show that we just call out different companies.
But I think
Why did you
I think
do
the
this?
thing with
I've got a
the
list.
Poly UI is so interesting.
Yeah,
And it's completely unique.
yeah,
The collaboration that Poly did with Josh Smith,
yeah.
and it's an astonishing sounding
Yeah.
pedal. It really is. But you need to spend some time and, because if you're in the heat of battle trying to, instead of grabbing a knob and turning it,
Yeah.
Of course.
you're doing that.
Nice.
Which is
And
always
so
the way
the
if something's a
fine
little bit
fine
different.
control.
Yeah.
But
But
then,
I do love-
the argument is that you sort that stuff out before you're
completely.
in battle. And
Yeah. But there's no deep menu diving. You can get into all of it. Let's see. BV, g'day, mate. BV is helping us moderate today. Thank you, bud, as he does every week. Absolute superstar. He said the mic AS4 is an analog amp sim and 2 notes revolt. The 2 notes revolt's analog.
I didn't think it was
Wow.
analog.
Someone also, Will Young, has said, isn't the Milkman pedal amp also analog?
Yeah, it
But I
is, but
think
that's an amp, isn't
yeah,
it?
I
That's
think,
Yeah.
but also I think what we're getting at is having that amount of variety, because
yes.
you
Yeah.
could
Yeah,
could
so
argue that
that's-
all of the 2 note
right.
stuff is analog, but it's because a lot of it's like valve driven or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's
And you
like
could say
a
quilter and
Marshall.
all that stuff
Exactly,
as well.
of course.
Yeah,
whereas
okay.
the ample is like
It
sort
does
of everything.
So yes, it does the thing that so many people want from modelers, where they can have loads of different amplifiers.
Yeah.
What I'm really interested to find out, because we get this question all the time about wet dry.
Oh, you're
And-
wondering about any latency or anything?
Yeah.
Sure.
So if it's analog, we shouldn't have those
Yeah,
problems.
I keep feeling like I need to keep checking that because in my head I'm like, it can't be, but I'm like
Yeah, I think
99%
you're right.
sorry.
sure. I mean,
BV said the Nux AS4.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
okay.
of course.
Nice.
Really? The Nux one? Okay, amazing. All right, I'll have to get into that. Fabulous.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just very cool.
It's a
Just
very, very cool thing. Very cool thing. I will get into that. Absolutely. Right. We have Ian Kerr on. Boys, boys, boys. That's us.
Yes, we are.
As opposed to
Boys,
the Motley
boys,
Crue
boys.
song, Girls, Girls, Girls. This is the antidote to the Motley Crue. This is the...
Nice.
I knew.
Yeah, nice. Go on. Finish that.
Oh, come on.
Okay. So we are going to get into the questions as well. Peter Verver says, hey guys, when is the software update available? Some news on the software update.
The news is Joe and I were both very sick over the weekend, so we have slowed that down. But
We promise all of you it is coming. We are doing everything in our power.
It's with the betas. I had a
Yeah.
chat to a lovely beta tester this morning who loves it.
yeah, I have had no negative feedback back.
Okay.
But it's all been positive. So
Okay.
hopefully, if it's all good,
Then maybe by the weekend. Maybe.
maybe by the
We'll
weekend.
do some more testing.
We're going to live and dream.
All right.
Yeah.
But it's very soon. It is imminent. It is. I know I've said it before.
We're trying.
Again,
is
I think,
imminent.
in all honesty, I think what slowed it down is this week is Joe and I being poorly boys.
Yes,
We
indeed.
were poorly boys.
Gordon Rankin's on. G'day, mate. He said, Dan, I sent an email about latency and stuff a bit ago. I saw that. So Gordon is our resident genius designer. And the great thing about Gordon, he also designs a lot of digital stuff. And he knows this stuff inside and out, which is great. And he's been very helpful and a source of knowledge and inspiration. So thank you, buddy.
Go on, Gordon.
Gav Thorpe says, sorry I'm late. I've been programming G3S patches. We are go, Jake.
Yeah, Gav's my boy.
Awesome.
It's my boy.
Awesome.
It's
Brilliant.
analog. It's analog.
It is
I
analog.
can't see anything about it being digital, so top tier.
Okay. Where is it? So William Young again says, Dan, I saw a board you did, I think for Ed O'Brien, that is correct, with all 3 Otto machines on it. How did you go about powering them all? So that was the first board that we did with the Otto machines,
Yeah.
and we'd never seen them before. A French company, Dennis, very,
Dennis.
very clever guy, or Denis, yeah, however that is pronounced.
Oui.
Oh, oui.
And they're 15 volts, but
Je ne sais pas.
they take 18 volts. They will power off 18
Yeah.
volts. That's how I power my BIM, which is the delay. All you need to do is, it takes a lot of current. So
Yeah,
you
I
have to
remember
have,
this board because we had the 3 15
15
volt
volt.
Yeah.
El
Yeah.
Pasos
I made a lot of
in a
customers.
line. And there was 9 of them in a row.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
flipped. It looked like a cartoon line of like TNT or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
It was under this flippy
Yeah.
tier, wasn't it?
so all you need to do to power your BIM is a doubler. The doubler needs to be powered from either directly from a distributor from an output or the new doubler from the 24 volt output from the Gen X.
Cool.
But you also, and this is crucial, you need to have the reverse polarity cable adapter on the end of the doubler because the BIM is center positive. So don't get that wrong. But
Otherwise
it
you'd be
powers
very
beautifully on 18 volts.
Otherwise, it's go
Sounds
from
amazing.
a BIM to a BAM.
Yeah.
To a,
Good
yeah,
one.
indeed.
To a boom.
Indeed. Okay, so what next? Oh, this is interesting. We had another collaboration between Third Man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
Okay,
Yeah, the Knife Drop,
the knife drop.
which is a collab between Third Man and Eventide. It's a Fuzz octave synth pedal. It's fully MIDI controllable. It's got an expression input.
I think that's your middle name, isn't it?
Mate, I am obsessed with everything Third Man are doing at the moment. Every single thing they seem to drop is just absolute dynamite. Yeah, but it seems incredible.
Okay, I haven't as yet managed to get my hands on the amp. The
Are you
Fender
going
collab.
to?
It's such an interesting take.
Well,
it's so interesting.
Thorpe has one.
Oh, yeah.
And
Dan
he-
Coggins told me that the other week, yeah.
And also Ed O'Brien has one.
Oh, really?
And
So you're going to get two of them together in a room
of course,
and do wet
but
dry.
both of those guys think it's incredible.
Yeah.
So for anyone that doesn't know, Third Man, which is
Jack
White and his team, I guess, collaborated with Fender to do an amplifier which is called
Panoverb?
Panoverb.
Yeah.
And it's basically a stereo amplifier. One is a 15-inch speaker, one's a
that's right.
10-inch speaker.
Yeah.
And super interesting, but apparently it just sounds flipping phenomenal. And
Yeah,
when you
'cause
hear
you
the
can-
demos of it, it's like, wow.
Yeah, because you can do wet and dry within the amp and send the reverb to only one of them
Or both.
or both.
Yeah, you can't
And
send it
then-
to either one. I think you
Yeah.
can send it to both or the 15. I can't quite
Yeah.
remember. But
And
yeah.
then it's got obviously harmonic tremolo in it as well, isn't it?
yeah.
You can send that to like just one of the
I think
speakers
so.
or both.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so cool though. Such
Yeah.
a cool idea.
But this pedal with Eventide. So you've got like an octave side, you've got a fuzz, and then you've got like synth controls that you can control the filtering as well.
Right.
But yeah, presets, MIDI controllable. Very, very, very cool.
It's interesting that Eventide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at everything they've done up
Yeah.
until now.
Yeah. That's a really cool collab
Oh,
for them.
and you can control it using the H90 control app. You can
Oh,
plug
no
it in
way.
and
Cool.
control it over that, and it has
Oh.
a USB port as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
That is fantastic.
Right.
Nice
very
Eventide,
cool.
nice.
Yeah.
Very, very, very
Tip
cool.
of the hat.
What's going on with the app for the H90? Is there going to be an app for the H90?
Is it a web editor?
Yeah, I've known H9 fans say that there isn't an app currently, and they
Right.
missed the H9 app for the H90, but I don't know.
I can't remember if there's a web editor, or but I think the UI in the H90 is much easier than the H9.
Yeah.
So the call for it is maybe less needed.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I cannot tell you the amount of years that we've all lost inside the UI of a H9.
Yeah,
with people.
literally. Press this button, stand on 1 foot.
Face mecha.
Yeah, literally.
You need a wind speed of 5.5 miles an hour.
But no, I'm very excited to try the knife drop.
It's
Yeah,
just interesting
cool.
because they're not known for Le Fuzz.
And I guess it feels the same when JHS did the collab with Boss.
Yeah, that's
it
true.
just feels like massive
How
giant
did you guys meet?
work. Exactly.
Did you bump into each other in a bar or?
Yeah. Any questions? Any comments,
Yeah,
dearest Daniel?
there's a few.
What were we saying?
Let's see. Oh, someone has said Dennis. It's pronounced Denis.
Denis. Je m'appelle Denis.
Very good. Very good.
Je
Oh,
suis désolé.
okay. Yes, thank you, BV. The Van Wilden, the new version of the Van Wilden Overdrive.
Yeah,
Has
ironic
dropped
that
as
we were
well.
talking about that last week, weren't
Yeah.
we? Yeah.
So there was some. BV's just reminded me, and that looks really cool. It's a lower power consumption. So one of the
cool.
big problems with it has been the way that it needs so much current. So this is lower power. So that's cool. That's
It's
cool.
similar like size and stuff as the original. So the other one's quite big, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a bit more compact, but it's hard to tell from the images.
Yeah, sure.
But we'll have a look at that. Okay, so what else we got? Okay, so this is cool. Number 4, the fourth picture, Zach, which is the Keeley Zoma. So this was launched at the Japanese Pedal Summit. So check this thing out. Robert says that it has the most fidelity of any pedal they've ever done.
Really?
Big
I was
statement.
convinced you were going to play a game of Simon Says then. That's where my brain went.
Robert says, pat your belly, scratch your head. So now what's interesting about that is a big statement.
Yeah.
That's a massive.
If you
statement.
so let's have a look at just for example, the Halo.
yeah.
Him and Andy worked for years on that pedal, and that is the best replication of Andy's thing with the 2 memory men I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And the other stuff it does is incredible, but it really is an astonishing sounding delay pedal. If I had to have a single small, like standard
You're
size
making
pedal,
a flyboard or something.
yeah, that's the pedal I'm using.
Cool.
And I'll learn how to use it. Because again, with the UI, I found that a bit tricky
Right,
to get into
interesting,
it.
yeah.
But sonically,
Unreal.
I've only ever had to step on the thing, and it sounds incredible. Now, if we go back to the Zoma pedal, Zach, number 4, and just have a look at the layout on this. What I love about this is its simplicity, and it's a bit of a departure for the layout for Keeley. But if we go to the next picture, Zach, which is the Beach Boys one, last year, I think, well, no, it wasn't last year. It can't be last year. It wasn't that long ago. When
Wouldn't surprise me if it
we
was last
had-
year, realistically.
oh, please don't tell me that because it's nearly the end of this year. We had Benson, Benson Amps.
Yeah.
Sorry, his name was
Chris
Benson. And Chris Benson was over because there was this big Beach Boys collab.
Yeah.
And the pedals that Keeley did, which we can see here, there's a trem and a chorus.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's the same form factor as the new
Yeah.
Zoma. But yeah, I thought when they did that, it was like a completely new approach to it. So I'm really, I'm really interested in hearing the Zoma. There's a couple of things I hope it's got. I hope it has a kill dry on it. But for the parallel thing we're doing in G3 now, that'd be really cool. But it looks awesome. And for Robert's saying it has the most fidelity of anything they've ever done.
That's a big standard.
That is a big.
It is.
But it's like one of the coolest things, right, about how pedals are shifting is that, like, aesthetically as well as technology, things are just getting so much cooler. Like, how many years were pedals, like every manufacturer pretty much, except maybe Boss, where it was in a Hammond box and it was just sprayed a colour, maybe, or it had some artwork on it, and that was kind of it. And now we're getting into this world where aesthetically people are taking more risks and just come up with these, especially the pedal you were just talking about, with it almost has that kind of nostalgic, like 1950s, like Bakelite kind of vibe to it. It's just really interesting.
But I think again that's sort of inspired by the Beach Boys thing. It's
Of course.
But yeah, it's really cool, and the big jewel light, is so cool.
It's very pretty.
Oh yes, and of course, the other one that is the same format as BV has pointed out is the Halo Core.
Oh right,
Yeah,
I thought
of
that it was a bit
course.
smaller, but that's
Yeah.
right. So they're using that format for a couple of the simpler things, which is really fantastic. Yeah, cool. So let's see. We've got Gav Thorpe says 2 pedals I thought you'd spot: the Fjord Fuzz Dove, Dovre.
Yeah, I feel bad about this because Gav, bless him, actually sent me a link to it. But again, please be nice. I've been poorly. It's a fuzz and a reverb, and it's. I tell you what, we will cover it next week. I will share some links with you. We will talk about it next week. It is insane.
I did see it
sounding.
again.
Yeah,
I was in no state,
yeah.
but it's very cool.
Yeah.
What's the other pedal that he?
There's the Mythos big puffed release for Halloween. So the Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man in
wicked.
Ghostbusters. That's what.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So, Zach at Mythos, man, that guy can make a good pedal. He is such a great guitar player, and it's a key feature of loads of my favorite pedal companies. And if he's done a big muff, I'm really keen to try it out. You're currently using the Keeley.
No, I haven't.
Are you not?
You've lost that somewhere else. That's definitely not on my board. You've lost that. You don't know what you've done with that. Yes, I am, and it's so good.
Okay.
I tell you what, I'm
How was
really
it called? The Octopi.
Octopi. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really, really committed to my Fuzz War. I absolutely love that muff.
You've been in a loving relationship with it for some time,
but
it's just quite big.
yeah, it's currently on my shelf at home. It's not come off so
and
quickly.
granted, I do like his approach. Like Deaf by Audio's point of view is that their pedals are meant to be played with,
Yeah.
and they're loud and they're big, but you want to fit more pedals on, so.
And it's just a phenomenal sounding
Yeah.
muff with different options.
Yeah.
And that octave is so good. It tracks so well. I love the idea. I love the fact that you can switch each side. So I've got like a tiered board and I have it underneath, and then using the remote switches on G3, I can turn the octave on and off. It's so good, man.
Awesome.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Thank you.
No, it's absolutely fine. I am very interested though. One of the things with big muffs is the boosting of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to do a show on this because the big muff is such a cool sound, but unless you're able to play at huge volume, doing single line stuff can be a bit of a challenge.
It just gets
Swampy.
lost. It just gets lost in the mix.
Yeah, and that's, David Gilmour has that boosting of the muffs thing sort of down, the way he EQs in and out of them. And I think it's worth, because it's such a wonderful circuit. It feels so great to play. And just,
And it's one of those circuits you can just put on anything and it sounds great.
Yeah,
Sounds great
for
on
sure.
bass, sounds great on guitar. Pretty much any guitar will sound cool for a muff within reason,
Yeah.
pretty much.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and there's loads of
And
examples
they're
of all that
versatile,
stuff.
man.
Yeah.
They don't have to be gargantuan, over the top fuzz. You can get really nice, the pumpkins
Yeah.
drive thing
Yeah,
from it
yeah.
as well as world ending.
So Todd Roy says, speaking of latency, the audio is off by a second or two for me. We did test this thoroughly
It was
before we came on
fine.
air. It was
Is
fine. It was
anyone
fine.
else experiencing that?
Yeah, please let us know.
Because we tested it.
We did.
I want your location. I want your internet provider. I want to know what package you're on.
Kate Kohler says I've got the same issue here. I think it's in YouTube. So it may
yeah,
not
we
be
did
us.
try.
We did
We
like
did
test
it through
this a lot.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Poor Zach's not going to get any dinner.
No,
He's not.
eating chicken bones
Yep.
again.
Okay, so let's
Yeah.
have a look at this one other pedal I thought I'd have a look at this week, which pedal that you found, which is the Real Deal A.
Yeah. I just thought it was a really. How you doing? I just thought it was a really interesting take. Like, I feel like we have had quite a lot of tape reel-esque pedals in the past, but I just thought it was an interesting take on it. So you've got an always-on preamp. Obviously, when you think of tape delay, the preamp is one of the most important things about it. And you've got two delays that you can either run as like separate delay times. So you've got two foot switches on and off, and you've got on the left foot switch you can either, it like changes the mode, so you can either go between a long delay time and a short delay time, or you can run both of them in parallel
Oh, nice.
to get that kind of cascaded.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that's really
two
cool.
delay thing.
dedicated delay lines on there. Okay,
That's really
lovely.
cool.
And it looks cool as hell. It looks so cool. Yeah, it's just an interesting take on it. It's again one of those pedals that's not like the most complicated thing in the world, but it's just an interesting take on it. And I think it'll be really useful for a lot of people. The only downside to it I did see, from my perspective, is I didn't see any tap tempo. But then I guess the argument is if you're using tape delay, you're using it more as like a bed of
Yeah.
Yeah.
noise as opposed to a rhythmic thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. Preamp, two delay chips, couple of modes. Looks cool.
It does look
Bob's your
cool.
teapot.
It does
Yeah,
look
it does
cool.
look
A little
very, very cool.
LED meter thing.
Who
Very
doesn't
cool.
love an LED meter?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Like,
really
who
great.
doesn't?
It's really great. So there is one pedal that we haven't mentioned that was launched last week that you guys may have missed when you were horizontal.
We were evacuating.
Man down.
By the toilet. If you sing it, it's not as
There's
abrasive.
a line.
See?
There's a line. So Paul Matulovich says, I barely heard anything about this new JHS delay.
Oh man, of course, yes. Flight delay.
Yeah.
Flight delay, and all the marking was yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
interesting,
Dug much
right?
into it.
No. No, we don't have one. We didn't, you know. I would have loved to have had one to have a play with.
Right.
It is... So, my experience with Josh's delays, we had an original Pink Panther
Yeah.
Sick.
that
Dawdle.
from memory, we ended up
Man.
putting on Mary Spender's board when we did a board for her.
Oh, right. Okay.
But man alive, what a killer sounding delay pedal. They got in trouble for the name.
Yeah.
And then
Pink Panther, the company sued them.
Yeah, and then they had to call
Nobody wants to have fun anymore, do they?
they had to call it
No.
the Lucky Cat.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, love that delay pedal. Really wonderful sounding thing. Then there was the $99 series, and
Yeah.
that delays
Oh, the Foundation series.
yeah,
The
really,
white ones.
really
Yeah,
killer
the
sounding
white
delay.
ones.
So he knows how to design a really good delay. I'm very interested to get into this one because there's an analog mode, there's a digital mode, and there's a reverse mode.
Yeah.
And the reverse thing is something that Josh loves, you know, so that was sort of an important thing to have. But you're right, Paul. I haven't heard much about that, and I'm really keen to dig into it. There are, man, when it comes to delays, I mean, far out. There's just so many,
Yeah.
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 so many. So I'm really keen to dig into that and see what the differentiating thing with these ones are. Is it an audio thing? Is that because the reverse delay itself, as you remember, Dan Electro brought out the
Yeah.
the green
The really psychedelic
Talkback.
one. Talkback.
the talkback
Talkback.
reverse delay.
Yeah.
Now, we did a show with Warren Haynes, and he has a reverse delay on his board. So we brought that out, and he turned it on. It was like, whoa, this thing's amazing, which it is, completely is. So I'm really keen to, because they all sound really different as well. So I'm really keen to have a play with that and just try and understand what it is that Josh really loves about that thing. So yeah, that's really, really interesting. So BV says, note for later, the switching is throwing the sync out. Okay, so Zach, if you could just leave it on camera 1 for us,
Okay.
and we will leave that on there for the rest of the show and see if that sorts things out.
Yeah.
But the switching is throwing the sync off. Okay, that's
That makes
That's
sense.
interesting.
so interesting.
Can I
All
read
right.
out a
So-
question?
Yes, please, Zach.
Oh, yay. Okay, from Wadey1960 CS. Hello, gents. Hope you're all well today. I've recently acquired the newest release from Teddy at Truei Pedals.
Oh, yes.
The Zonked pedal. It is truly a special pedal. Have you guys used any Truei lately?
Yes. Well, I haven't, not lately to be fair, but we have a bunch of Teddy's pedals.
And the Zonk machine.
The
as
Zonk,
Zonk
machine,
machine.
is okay.
Is
So
a
What
vibe.
is it?
can I say what I love about Teddy?
No,
and-
you
No.
cannot.
No.
Do it and I walk.
I'm shutting the stream down right now.
Go on, say it.
So just to get back to what we're saying, Gordon Rankin says the flight delay seems really interesting and it only draws 85 milliamp with both and analog. So Gordon, are you saying it actually has an analog circuit in there?
So it's based off of a Memory Man, a DD5, and the reverse mode on a Line 6 DL4.
Yeah,
Oh,
but they're
cool.
it's
That's the
modelled,
vibe.
right, though?
I believe so.
Otherwise, yeah. But anyway,
Otherwise, how is it happening?
anyway, but yeah, that is super interesting. I think if you look at his Foundation series, it's a similar current draw, but yeah, it looks really, really interesting. Right, Teddy, Truei. What I love about Teddy's designs, I'm sure the limiter caught that.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. If the limited didn't catch it, I'm sure I did. So
Jake.
Teddy, when we first saw his pedal, the first one was a take on a color sound overdrive.
Is it like a power boost or something?
It's like a power boost, but the case was like a
Yeah.
miniature overdrive booster, and it was like so cool. So he's done a whole series in that enclosure with different colors.
I know the rat one as well that he did.
Yeah.
We put one of those on one of Paul Stacey's rigs.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really special.
Yeah, and the trem as well is.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, the trem made.
But there's
on that
a
rack as well.
there's a thing that he does, which I am so grateful for. Which I wish more designers would do, is they don't design out the magic of the original by filtering and trying to get rid of noise.
Sure. Yeah. There's definitely something to be said about all of that kind of junk and grossness in certain pedals. That
And
make
that's
it...
not to say that the Truei pedals are noisy. They're not.
No. But there's a line, isn't there? Between
it hasn't been approached by an engineer that's gone, oh, you know what? I can make it even quieter.
Yeah.
and
so-
then all of the soul falls out.
It's something that I find really annoying.
Mm-hmm.
It's a distortion pedal. It's a loud, angry thing. It doesn't need to be sort of
Crystal
silent and stuff,
Yeah.
like it's had a noise gate in it.
Yeah, it's meant to rip eardrums apart.
Yeah. And Teddy's pedals, they leave that intact.
Sure, man.
And they sound flippant magic. His big muffs are just awesome. And he also did a Zeppelin-inspired tone bender.
Cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool.
That sounds cool.
Wicked. Absolutely wicked.
I missed that.
So-
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of Teddy's
So
stuff.
what's this pedal? The Zonk. Is that what this?
So the Zonk machine is
Zonk
a pedal from the 60s.
The Zonk machine is a take on the tone bender.
Yeah,
Right.
But it's its own.
It's definitely its own
Yeah.
thing. It's much more mid-rangey and spitty and like biased in a certain way. So the Zonk, back in the days where they're doing a lot of OEM manufacture, and the Zonk machine was commissioned. And I forget who commissioned it, but it was its own thing, but based on the tone bender circuit.
Awesome.
And it's such a cool sounding thing.
Yeah, baby.
Okay. So Wadley 1960 says, I have the Zonked, the Two-Face, and the color driver running through a QMX8, and it's quiet as a mouse. Excellent. Yeah, absolutely.
Love
It
to
was
hear it.
John Hornby Skews.
John Hornby Skews. That's right. There you go.
producing
The
leads.
the original JHS.
Yeah.
I think they've been going longer than Josh has been alive. I think they've been
Definitely.
around forever.
Yeah.
Here we go. So Simon V RDJ says, when it comes to guitar pedals in general, can normal guitar pedals like reverb or overdrive pedals, for example, be used with bass guitars? Which pedals should be avoided? Much respect to you all. So
No,
this is
you can't
so
use
that
that.
again.
this is right.
Sorry.
You get arrested.
I just saw that you could get a Zonk Machine Mark 1 for £14 back in the day, so that was just
I
blowing
thought
my
you
mind.
meant right now. I was like, brother, give me your eBay account. I'm on it.
Just by 10. Put them all together.
Yes. So he's asking when it comes to so Simon V says, when it comes to guitar pedals in general, can normal guitar pedals like reverb or overdrive be used
shut that up.
with a bass guitar?
Yes, they can. The
Thanks, Gary.
age-old argument is that you end up losing a lot of low end, speaking from a bass player perspective. But I've personally found that if you mix a guitar-centric overdrive or distortion pedal in parallel with a bass-specific overdrive or distortion, you can often get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So at the moment I'm running a B7K and a Plumes. Oh,
Not my
oh, not your
No,
bottle.
the water.
Oh no!
It's all right.
There's a flood.
It's all right. Sorry, I wasn't getting any attention.
Everyone swim to the microphones.
The short answer is yes, you can, but you'll normally end up losing a fair amount of bottom end, and so a bass without any bottom end is
A sad bass.
a sad bass, sad time. We
Mark
should all...
King.
No, Mark King, don't you come for Mark King. This is like the time that you said you didn't like Limp Bizkit and we walked out. Mark King is also off the table.
No, I didn't say I
That
didn't
happened.
like
We went
Limp
on.
Bizkit.
Me and Joe went on strike
I didn't
once
say I
because
didn't
you
like
tried
it,
to
but
talk
just not-
Biscuit.
I didn't.
Don't mess him up.
Okay, no. Not
And
saying
where's
he's not
Borland?
amazing.
Oh, much baller.
Not saying he's not amazing, but he does have a lot of.
He's got a lot of trouble, but he's still got bass.
Okay,
he's still
alright.
got thump.
All right, cool.
You know, he's got the big thing.
Is
on
he
his
the
thumb.
only bass player in Double 42?
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah,
There's-
there's got four. There's
because
got
I-
four bass players. Yeah,
42.
they're running
It's like
two times stereo
It's
bass.
like
Sounds terrible.
No, it's because
It's Spinal Tap.
it's because he was a drummer to begin with,
oh, okay.
right? And he's basically, he's a
Doing-
drummer,
giving
so
it-
he hits stuff,
Giving it large.
and that's why that's how
Bucket,
that
of
kind
bucket
of.
of chips.
There
Yeah,
you go.
okay.
Yeah, there you go. That's Dan rapping. But yeah, you need something. Personally, use a Wetterbox. Can be found on our website. To mix your bass's bottom end in with a guitar-centric overdrive or distortion, because often a lot of those pedals filter out a lot of that super low end that is fundamental to being a bass player. So you need something with that overdrive or distortion to allow your bass to happen at the bottom. If that makes sense.
So a lot of the bass distortion pedals will have a mix control, right? So that you can mix and blend your original signal back in.
The only problem with that is that you often get very clanky.
Yeah, because that mix includes, it's a full frequency mix.
Yeah.
It doesn't just mix the bottom end back in,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Which is what I'd like to see. But doesn't Dark Glass turn?
Yeah, so there's a bunch of manufacturers that have started. I think the first one was the Doom pedal has a filtered clean.
Right.
So it takes out all the top end, because otherwise you get that really nasty transient of a clean bass clanking away. And then what ends up sounding like is kind of a too clean
Sounds broken.
bass,
Yeah.
and then a fizzy mess, and they don't sound
They sit
related.
together,
Yeah, right.
Whereas to be fair, the Dark Glass is, I don't think, at least on the B7Ks that I've used or B3Ks or whatever, they're not filtered, but you just had a tiny bit in, because their distortion circuits are tuned for bass, so they've got much more low end.
Yeah, okay.
But
makes
if you
sense.
were to do it with a guitar pedal, you need, and also phase becomes way more of an issue when you're doing that with bass, because you can still wipe out the bottom end if the phase is out.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So it is possible. It's just slightly more frustrating than maybe necessarily just getting like a clean blend under the guitar. That won't get you where you need to be. You ideally need a rounded off, like essentially imagine your bass with the tone rolled off going underneath, and then the overdrive distortion on the top to get it to harmoniously sit together.
Right.
But it can be done. It's just
Okay. Do you ever mod distortion pedals and just change the input filter cap size?
yeah. I've tried a lot of that stuff, and it does, well, like you've got like the plumes and the blooms, for example.
Yeah.
I think that is cool, but I still end up feeling like a lot of modded guitar pedals still lack like the
purpose.
Yeah,
Of a
'cause
bass.
it's not ultimately
the
designed for
trouser
that.
flap,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
know?
That's interesting.
because your that circuit is still not built around those lower frequencies.
Right.
Is it question time again?
Yes, bud.
Always.
Okay. We've got on from Ton Point. I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher your name. Ton. It's not even Ton. It's Tom.
Tom Poynton. Is
Thank
that what you're
you.
saying?
Did you see?
Dyslexic Clive's mattress.
Did you guys see Justin Chancellor's rig rundown?
No. Did
Yes.
you see it?
Yes. Yeah. Because he's got that new wire, isn't he? Well, it's not even actually that new anymore, but Justin Chancellor is one of the OG kings of bass effects.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Have you not seen
I
his
guess
board?
you
No.
could say you opened up the toolbox
Whoa.
of bass effects.
That was a happening.
You like that?
Um,
You like that?
Justin Chancellor has so many pedals that in Tool concerts of yonder,
Far out, man.
he would have a pedalboard change. He'd bring out a second pedalboard, take off his first pedalboard and put on a new pedalboard.
What?
I like that.
oh no, this is now Dan. Dan's going to have an
No.
Act 1 pedalboard, an Act 2 pedalboard. Yeah, have you not
No.
delved into
No, I haven't.
the
I
Chancellor?
thought I've watched that rig run now, and I missed that bit.
I
Must have
don't
skipped
think he
that
does
bit.
it anymore, but he definitely used to do
That's
it. And obviously
wild.
he's using a wall base,
Yeah,
which is multi-coil pickups
yeah.
and really interesting preamps that are bandpass filters that you can tune in. Don't know if you've tracked out the old wall bass.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
the wall
Justin
bass.
Chancellor's
Yeah.
like famous for using the wall bass.
Okay.
That's like his whole thing. And then just silly amounts of effects, just like anyone else would get fired as a bass
Oh,
player.
okay.
Like,
Okay.
but it's his whole thing is affected bass. Like
Right.
each one of those effects is specific to, a section of a song. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Adrian Belew. You know how Adrian Belew is
Okay.
like he's got I don't know if he did a rig rundown recently where he's got a choral flanger, electroharmonics choral flanger, and he's got little tiny bits of tape in different colours on a stand so that he can do his thing and go, right, we're in the bridge section of this song.
And it changes things. Yeah.
Here's the thing, and then we're going to another section. Here's another thing, and I feel like Justin Chancellor's in a strange kind of way linked in the sense that, from what I can see anyway, he sees a lot of those effects as like little capsules of a vibe.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That I absolutely know what you mean.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
I'm a bass player that's obsessed with effects, so
Yeah.
Justin Chancellor has to feature somewhere.
Zach, Tom says, don't worry, mate. People have been butchering my surname for my entire 46 years. Actually, he didn't say don't worry.
No,
He says,
He
"Don't
said
worry."
people have been butchering my name for 46 years. I'm coming for you.
Yep, I'm gonna not sleep tonight.
No.
And you're not
Hold
going
up.
to eat.
I'm gonna be
Tom, my
never
surname
again.
is Will Cock. I understand that feeling very well of having the surname butchered.
Jake's
Don't
middle
you
name
worry.
is William.
Boy, oh boy. Okay, we've got a few minutes left. We can't stay late tonight because I want these guys to go home and get some sleep.
Yeah, I can't wait to go to bed.
Can't wait to
But we
eat
have
tonight.
we've got a big week the rest of this week. There's so much going on here. Let's see. Simon V. RDJ says, imagine a bass harmonious monk. How cool would that be?
I mean, vibes sound amazing on bass.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
I
do.
think
Already
the monk
sound
already
great.
sound, it does already sound really, really great. A lot of people saying, don't mess with the king.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. No,
You
look,
just made me think I do
But
need to try
you
a
know what?
harmonious monk on a bass. I haven't done it. I need to
Do
try
you
it.
know a guy
we
that might
didn't
be able to?
have a level 42 in Australia, wasn't?
Can I borrow a harmonious monk just to see what it sounds like on bass?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I got one
You
upstairs.
heard it here first.
Yeah. So level 42 weren't massive in Australia,
not?
but I knew a few people that were into them, but they weren't on the radio.
Sure.
So I didn't really.
Discover
But
them,
bass
you got
players
there.
I knew who loved them, and Mark King. Actually, there was an Australian bass player, a lady who a friend of mine plays guitar for,
Right.
and her name will come to me, but
Les Claypool.
no,
Leslie Claypool.
no.
Leslie.
But I saw
Dirt
her. She opened for Too Many Notes.
Too Many Notes.
Yeah, Too Many Notes is the
Yeah,
name of his
Too
tune.
Many-
He was the old guitar player in Deep Purple.
I thought you were just reviewing.
Oh, brain.
Yeah, played way too much.
He's Steve
So-
Morse.
Steve Morse, right, sure.
Right.
Too many
So
names.
she
Too Many
opened.
Notes, Steve Morse.
She opened for Steve,
Right.
and with her band, who were incredible. And she came out she was loud, right?
Was she up here? Was she?
Not too. It wasn't too.
Because
too
once it gets a
strangly.
bit too high,
Yeah.
you can't.
Gets a
No,
bit,
but she.
Ryan Martin,
she's the
yeah,
was an
Mudvayne.
amazing.
Don't you talk about Ryan Martin?
Amazing slap bass player.
Dang.
And I know she was heavily influenced by Mark, but I was Shreddy McShredface back then.
You got so many tunes.
Too many notes.
Yeah, I was way too many notes.
It's definitely a bass player thing, like the whole slap thing. It's the one thing that often puts me off of going to bass guitar shows, because when nowadays you have like 15 minutes of pain, and then it's quiet again. In that 15 minutes of pain, there is 1,000 middle-aged men trying to play slap.
Dad.
Easy,
It's
sunshine.
quickly, you're walking home and you're
Brother,
not
you are
eating,
grounded.
and you've made enemies on
I'm
the internet.
handstanding home. To be fair, BV said thank you for stepping in.
So you're, it puts you off. It puts you off slap a little bit, but what?
So, no, nothing.
Go on.
Go on.
Someone, no, well, this is, so Simon comes and says, I do miss Lizzie's voice. No disrespect to Zach, but Lizzie's voice is lovely.
Right. That's too far. I'm not the chairman
No, easy,
TGR
buddy.
needs. I'm the chairman TGR gets.
That's right. My son, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you are all 100% correct. Lizzie has such a
she's-
good
yeah,
radio
yeah.
voice.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm
But
ending
no,
it now.
Zach,
I'm
you've
ending
done,
it
mate.
early.
You've done brilliant today.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. We'll get to the bottom of why the switching thing is
Yeah,
causing
I don't
that. So
understand.
It's my aura. I made it break.
No, mate, it's
No,
all
it's
good.
not you.
It's
You're
all
good.
good.
Any more for any more?
Yeah, there was someone had a question on MIDI.
Oh yes, one of the
Oh
74.
yeah, up here. I'll get it up because I'm the chairman.
The man in the chair.
Any pedals where you experienced a bad MIDI implementation, I try to use the LVX with MIDI. Preset switching is slow and expression over MIDI is impossible.
That's very interesting. I have the LVX and I haven't experienced any of that. So
I
It's
certainly
a-
haven't with the Enzo. I
Yeah.
use the Enzo all over the place. I mean, obviously, I know they are different pedals, but it's both by Meris, and I use the expression on the Enzo and constantly changing PC messages in it. It's
I think
pretty
so.
great.
It's a couple of things to make sure that sometimes it's not the unit itself; it's the unit that's sending the MIDI.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you need to those things. The LVX draws enough of a current that you need to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, right.
So make sure that the LVX is powered properly. Make sure that whatever's sending the MIDI is powered properly.
Because you might be on like a ratio that it powers up and it works, but then when it's receiving that command, you're taking it over the draw and
Because
picture
CC
a computer. Not
CC is pretty insane if you look how quickly that's transmitting.
Yeah.
And there are a few pedals out there that step whatever, but I've never seen it with anything Maris.
And I will say that Meris's customer support is fantastic. If you're
Yeah.
having any
Yeah.
issues like that, get in contact with them. They make wonderful stuff. MIDI is a big part of what they do. So, or the other thing to think of, if you're doing, depending on expression pedals and that, they may have a different pin out. So,
Yeah.
for example,
Very
if you've
true.
got the polarity wrong,
Yeah.
that could be causing you all sorts of
Yeah,
grief.
yeah, yeah.
So I wouldn't be too concerned about it. Get in touch with the guys at Meris and they'll get you sorted out. All right,
Logan
gentlemen.
is the guy there.
Yes, Logan.
Yeah, Logan is an
Is
absolute dude.
Yeah.
Is
And
it going off time?
It's going off time in just a second. But thank you all for joining us. It's been lovely. And hopefully the latency was sorted out by not switching around at the end. But yeah.
I'm gonna go home and go to bed now.
Yeah, we'll get it sorted out. Thanks everyone. Have a fantastic week. If there's anything in the meantime that you've spotted that you'd like us to chat about, send a message through. Tag us on Instagram.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, let us know, and we'd love to deep into it.
Only 3 men. We can only see so much.
Yes.
And a half. I count.
What was that? That was the thing.
said that?
We're only men. We're only normal men. Was it? Yeah. Anyway,
Are we?
No.
brilliant.
You're
All right.
weird.
All right. Thanks everyone. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next
See you later,
week.
gang.
Okay.
Bye.